And this is why major service might not fix your bike.
So what actually happened was the bike still has some issues even after I got it back from the major service. And this was even though I already mentioned the things that I want the mechanic to fix during the major service. I'm not trying to call out names or whatever, but finding a good and reliable mechanic is very important. At least that's the lesson I have learned, because I thought the online review for this guy is good, hence maybe I can give it a try. But until you really find your go-to mechanic, you're just gonna keep on paying unnecessary fees on top of fees. And we all know that mechanical fees, they're not cheap, whether it be for the bikes or for the cars. So hopefully my lessons or the information or even the issues that I had and the fixes that I finally done, all these informations that I provide in the video today will be useful to some, if not all of you out there. First of all, the bike, even after having the major service and the supposedly fixes done, it was still scary to ride. I mean, fair enough, the mechanic did tell me in the end that it's better for me to bring the bike to my tuner to have things fixed up. But so in terms of the quick shifter issue, I'm not gonna put the blame on him. But in terms of this, another lesson is, if there's any issue that makes your bike not enjoyable to ride, or it's even to the point of scary to ride, it's better to get it fixed ASAP, because I was pretty much riding the bike for some time after the major service with the quick shifter issue still on it, and the bike was so scary. I have to pretty much watch out my throttle all the time and also cover my clutch, because I'm just so scared that the bike will just suddenly have this random surge of power and I might just end up in an accident. So it was so scary to the point that I thought maybe I should sell the bike, or maybe I should even stop riding. But as you can see, after I got the bike back from the tuner, everything seems to be running smoother now, and I hope it stays this way. Fingers crossed, no more issues, because I don't want to fork out more money unless necessary. But then again, bikes are always an expensive hobby. And anyways, with that said, even after the major service, obviously the quick shifter issue wasn't resolved, and the supposedly the cylinder head leak that the mechanic mentioned, eventually there wasn't a leak at all, so thank God for that. But there is a hidden issue which the mechanic didn't even point out, but I was the one who found out about it, to think that, well, the issue was actually with the clutch. So considering that I have to cover my clutch pretty much all of the time, and there is an issue with the clutch, it just again makes the ride much more unenjoyable. So what actually happened was, there are some contaminants or pollutants in the oil reservoir and the whole clutch line. So that makes the clutch super stiff. So while I was covering the clutches and using the clutches, I can say that I almost have an arm pump. It was so tiring, my left hand. So I eventually saw the pollutants in the silicon line, and I was actually surprised that the mechanic didn't see it because I questioned him, like, did you do anything to the clutch reservoir or the oil? He said he did check it, he did top up the oil, so I was surprised that he didn't see or fix this at all. So eventually I brought it to the tuner, and he was the one who fixed out everything for me. So I will just park the bike up and let me address the issue one by one and also the fixes one by one, and hopefully they will also help any of you guys out there.
So first of all, it's about the clutch fluid. So while I was on my way to drop off the bike to the tuner, I noticed here inside the tube, in the beginning the fluid was very dark. I thought maybe it might be normal because the mechanic that I dropped off for the major service didn't say anything. Then while on a traffic light, I realized there was a lot of sediments, some contaminants accumulate here at the bottom. So I brought that up to the tuner and he said he will have a look. And it turned out there's a lot of the pollutants or these contaminants, not only in the silicone tube, but it was also in the clutch reservoir and even the whole system. That's why the tuner said what he did in the end was he drained out the fluid, and then he cleaned the whole system as much as he could. And then the clutch, I remember before that cleaning up was very very hard. It's like every single time I try to pull on the clutch, I might actually eventually have an arm pump that level of hardness, and now it's just very smooth. And then secondly, I don't know if you all can see or not, but that clearance between the radiator and the exhaust, the tuner noticed on the day I dropped off the bike that there was barely any clearance between the radiator and the exhaust. And of course, with that said, every single time if I ride on a bumpy road or if I keep on going over bumps and such, that will cause the radiator to constantly heat and rub on the exhaust, which of course is not going to be good for both the radiator and the exhaust. If there is a radiator damage, that means there's a whole lot of money and work to be done again. And then of course the most important issue that I had before it was the quick shifter. So previously I was running Woolwich switch. So apparently after the testing, according to the procedure instructions from Woolwich, the switch has died or malfunctioned, and therefore the tuner ordered a new switch, which is from HM. So Woolwich, if I'm not mistaken, is from Australia. HM is from the UK. But regardless, they are both reputable brand. It's just that unfortunately the quick shifter switch on the H2 as from the Woolwich brand has known to fail before. So hopefully this switch from HM will actually fix the issue once and for all. And other than that, I don't think. Yeah, and of course the throttle control, because the previous mechanic he loosened up the throttle a little bit so that it has more play, because he thought maybe it was the tight tolerance throttle that causes the jerking of the bike. So I requested the tuner to actually fix the throttle control as well, and now everything should be back to normal, and fingers crossed no more issue. But lastly, and unfortunately, as you can see, there is a oil leak, and it's coming from this bolt. Anyways, I guess this is bike life. You fix one thing, another issue might appear. So I already emailed the tuner. Hopefully, well, he said if there's any issue he will fix it at no cost, because just the previous work, it cost me almost $2,000. So I'm hoping he can fix this without cost. It's most likely just needing a retorque of the bolt, but I don't want to risk it. Who knows, maybe it just need a retorquing, or maybe there's a seal leak. But I'm hoping that the tuner is willing to come all the way, though I doubt it. Most likely I have to drop it off again, and it's quite far from my place. So that's all the updates I get, I believe. I don't think there is anything that I missed out on the bike. Hopefully she will be back to 100% soon. If you enjoyed today's content, and I hope it will also help you in any way, press the like button, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Peace.